How we all doing?
Kyle, you changed hats?
Changed hats.
I like hat.
Yeah, hat.
Maybe I'll change back later. It's our grandfather's birthday coming up on the 6th. We were supposed to make a video to send to him. And Sachi was like, all right, let's wear like funny hats. I was like, oh, let's wear hat. And then I was thinking like, it's a funny hat, but for like a 6-second video, it's not like that extreme. So I decided to go with the Sailor Jerry ladies hat, the red one that Sachi wore back in the day.
That's not a bad call.
And I wore a gross hat that made my head look like a diaper.
How'd it go?
Diaper hat.
Diaper head.
Diaper head.
You look like 70s dad. You should be wearing roller
Hammer
skates
pants.
and also
Fanny
a backpack with a child in it.
It's like a pink snakeskin hat. And it also feels like a diaper.
No,
Kind of
okay.
looks like one.
It looks like you should be rollerblading, like not inline skates, rollerblading with a baby Bjorn on.
Kyle, I feel like you haven't put a diaper on your head recently. Maybe that's why you don't understand the feeling.
Been a while.
Yeah, our aunt got us this hat.
Sometimes the aunt just comes out, you know? She's a very normal, nice person, and then sometimes she's just the most aunt of aunts.
She just gets you a weird diaper snake hat.
I mean, she's not related by blood, but
The Riddles don't have girls.
Yeah, all boys,
Yeah.
forever.
As soon as you said there's only boys, the very first thing I thought of was, I wonder what they would look like as girls. That was the first 100%, the absolute first thing that came to mind.
Very large heads.
Hey, I have a giant head, and I'm pretty cute.
You're a Riddle. Checks out.
My head is bigger than Kyle's.
But yeah, Kyle definitely doesn't have as big a head as Dan and I. That's for sure.
Dan's head is shaped big. It looks like
It's
a
wide.
triangle.
It's
Yeah.
Wide, yeah.
Big shaped.
My head is big, but it's like because it's front to back big. It's not as noticeable from the front.
so you're like Alien.
Yeah, exactly. Like this long, but I can get through the bars. You know, if I get stuck, I can
You
just
can get through the bars.
straight through.
Alrighty. I'm going to do my best job with a recap here. Last session, Ko met up with the crew and told them that Thalen has been missing for a couple days and is assumed to have been abducted. You went and checked out a site, ostensibly where he had been abducted to look for clues, and determined that the Grung had taken him, these pesky frog tribal people. Following a series of trails, you noted that there were some abnormal tracks, as well as a number of Grung tracks that led up through a light forest and into a large hedge maze. You navigated the magical thorny hedge maze, avoiding undead and traps, and were able to find your way out unharmed into Dung Grung Lung, the temple settlement of the Grung. You were escorted by about a dozen Grung to the temple center, where you met with King Grok. King Grok's right-hand lady brought Vargo up to the waiting pool to have King Grok bite him on his hand. After that, Vargo was able to speak and communicate easily in Grung. Using a bit of the excretion from King Grok, two other characters were also able to communicate with Grung, but Indra refused. Indra soon determined that these Grung operated on a slave economy and decided that this would be a good time to go ahead and begin a frogicide. You found Thalen in a 10-foot prisoner pit along with another companion who you were not familiar with. Karuk revealed to you that she had a plan to basically fool King Grok into thinking that his god wife to be Nang Nang had actually returned as he expected. Karuk provided you all with some of Nolzur's magical pigments, which allow you to create a three-dimensional real object out of a two-dimensional painting. She told you to use these objects to somehow create an image of Nang Nang that was realistic enough to fool King Grok. She let you know that the ceremony would take place tonight, and that if you were able to bring King Grok's wife god to be, he would likely grant you a favor, and you would be able to leave with the boy detective without putting up much of a fuss. And that is where we are. So we are essentially at a beginning of a long rest / period of 8-hour downtime, where you all can prepare whatever it is that you want, and do your thing.
What time of day is it?
Well, let us say it's about midday, and that the ceremony will be,
Hours
in the
after
evening.
sundown.
Yeah.
I was a little bit of a misunderstanding. What when we were talking earlier, what does the covering for the pit that the prisoners are in look like? What is it?
Yeah. So it's about a 10-foot square, like wooden lattice with a rock on top. I think I described it as a large rock. I was speaking in Grung terms, so it's large for Grung. So it's it's a rock that you feel like you could move with some effort.
How deep was the pit? Was it 10 feet? Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that was how far from the tent that we're in?
Yeah, it was like the little hut that you're in. Crook's hut is about 30 feet away from that pit. Yeah.
So Cameron, where what are the things here?
Great. So if you're looking at that map,
Yep.
what we'll say is the top left quadrant there. That's the prisoner pit, and those two huts, those are Crook's.
So when we came in, how far was the surrounding forest from the edge of the hedge maze? Was it like right up against it, or was it?
No,
was
yeah,
there like a
let's say
clearing?
there's a good clearing. Yeah, solid clearing of like 50 feet at least. Yeah. Well, you're all in Crook's hut right now. She's given you some space to prepare, and she said that she was going down to the other hut at the bottom there. For what it's worth, there are also two green grungs standing in front of the prisoner pit.
Argo, can I see those paints for a second?
The paints?
The paints, yeah. You took them, right?
I took them, and you can have them.
Okay. I want to try something. So I'm gonna take the paints, and I'm gonna paint like a black spot on the ground, like a hole, and see if I can create like space. If I can create like dig into the ground with the paints, or how that functions, and just paint like a
Sure.
black spot. See what happens.
Yeah. Are you doing that indoors in Crook's hut?
Yeah, inside the just small, maybe like like a 1 foot diameter.
Sure.
Just try
Yeah.
to see what it does.
You start painting in a circle, and you fill it all the way up, and you shake off the brush, and then what would you like to do to test it?
I'm going to take a silver coin and drop it in.
It falls in the hole.
Do I hear anything? Do I see it hit the bottom?
Ooh, man, yeah. Okay, well, let me read the text
Liquid
real
hot
quick.
magma starts coming out from the center of the
Yeah,
earth.
seriously.
Awaken a Balrog.
I'm going to say that it falls down about a foot, so the depth matches the diameter. And I know I'm going to regret saying that later, but the depth matches the diameter for now.
So, yeah. Do you want to consult the other DM that has to manage this magical item for the rest
You
of the
won't regret
campaign?
it.
Too late. I'm running with whatever Cameron throws at us, man.
I think
He's
you
already
have
given these
1,000 square
paints.
feet of paint, so figure
Okay.
we sink Dung Grung Lung.
Sinkhole.
We're just running through the street with a paintbrush on the ground. So
Just run around the outside of it. Let's think big.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking, guys. I'm thinking, and I'm just gonna try to speak in a voice that can't be heard outside the, just in case there's somebody
Sure.
nearby.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that we could potentially paint, if painting a hole gives me the depth that the circle is, if we can paint several times, we could create a tunnel underground to the pit where Thalen's being held, and get him to us before things start getting hairy.
Do we have enough paint for that?
There's a lot. I mean, it doesn't use very much, and we've got 3 pots.
3 pots, okay.
Well,
I'm down.
another thing that we could do is maybe we just like break those two out of the cage, and then they can just paint like a hole through the wall, and they can get out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have a great grasp on how dense this maze is.
So, DM, I did roll to ask about like where these kind of like vines and everything came from.
Mhm.
Back last session. I would just like to think about like from what I know about these vines, do I think is it like 7 feet thick, or is it more just like enough of these vines to stop someone from going through them?
Are you asking about the vines themselves or like the supporting plant structure behind them?
Just in general, the maze that we'd went through, like the what from what I saw, I guess, what and what I know about these plants already, what how How if I were to like try and stick my hand all the way through, could I reach the other side? Or
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and roll a survival check first.
it's a 19.
Okay. So, from what you can recall while you were walking through the maze, there's a few important points that appear to you. As you were turning corners on these things, you feel like these hedges with the vines on them are probably somewhere about 3 feet thick, not even quite 5 feet, and that's each like individual wall. The vines themselves, you remember, do sort of shift and move. So if you were trying to just like stick your arm through it, you would imagine that they'd probably move over you. But the walls of these plants to themselves are not particularly thick. No.
Yeah, I don't think it was that thick. I mean, again, it wasn't just one wall we had to go through, right? Because if it was a maze, it may be multiple walls we'd have to go through. But we were doing a lot of turning and in like small corridors, so I assume it's not that difficult to get out. I just think that if we're trying to, I think the first thing that we're all worried about is Thalen and his well-being, right? And conserving this paint might be helpful. So if we need less of it to just go through these vines as opposed to through a hole in the ground, maybe we can do it that way.
I wasn't saying that we could use it to dig all the way out of the compound. I was saying just to get to Thalen without anyone noticing. That way we have him with us when we spring the trap or the plan or whatever. But yeah, I agree that is a good way to get out through the vines, because otherwise we don't have an easy way. We may run into a few of those undead, but Indra seemed to handle those pretty well.
I think we should burn the maze down.
Is that like after we get Thalen and that other gentleman out?
Yeah. Yes. And any other people who are being kept. But I think we should destroy it.
Trying to figure out what's the best way to determine if there's anyone else being held here without playing our hand.
It seems like the lady was pretty willing to answer your questions about the slaves. We could ask.
I feel you on burning the place down. I couldn't really tell it. I don't know if the vines are like really following the will of like a frog priestess or something like that, because I don't know if the nature itself is like protecting the grung, if burning down is really necessary. I mean, I understand taking out all the grung so that they don't get anybody. I'm all for that. I just not sure about burning the whole place down. But again, I'm not necessarily opposed. I just wonder if it might be more efficient if we just take out the grung as opposed to burning the place down. Because, as we saw, there's a ton of water on the inside, and I worry that the fire isn't going to take out the grung. It's just going to burn down a maze.
No, I want to burn down the maze. I want to kill the grung and burn down the maze. It's a maze filled with undead.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Not very smart undead.
I like the idea.
Most of them seem like they're already stuck in the maze at this point, in one way or another.
I like the idea that one of you had about disguising me as the goddess.
I think that's our best way of like getting close to the king and trying to get, because it's from DM. Did I think that he was like the most powerful grung of the grung, or I can just assume myself? I just didn't know if I was going to roll for that or anything.
Here's what you would know just by having met him. He's definitely the biggest. He's the only one that was wearing like any sort of jewelry or anything of value, and he's the only gold one that you've seen.
So from what I do know, I know that different colors mean different things. I'm not sure what, but getting our our biggest and strongest close to him might be our best bet.
If we can get as many of them possible near me, I think I could do some serious damage.
Yeah, I'm sure. Can you like call a storm, or what were you thinking?
Well, I can't call a storm, not on purpose anyway, but I can hit them all. Anything close enough to me with
With something?
like a, yeah, It sounds like thunder, and I know I can do a lot of damage that way.
I like it. If you feel ready for it, I'm up for that. We can try
Well,
to.
we just got to think about how we can station ourselves
Yeah.
because,
How to not get overwhelmed.
I mean, overwhelmed, yes. I assumed that the Grung were going to run from Nung Nung doing damage to everybody. Like, I would assume that they would be afraid and run away. And if we don't want any of them to get away, I know Indra wants to take them all out. So we also got to think about, like, maybe station somebody at the door to close everybody in so we can pick them off afterwards.
Of the maze?
Not the maze, of the temple. You know, when we went into the temple.
Well, they may not. I wonder if they'll all come.
I mean, yeah, I guess we got to debate whether that's better or worse for us, right? Because there are only 4 of us. 5 and 6 if you count the other 2, but I doubt that they'll be in fighting shape at this point.
Well, they won't be poisoned anymore, at least.
True, but they don't have any weapons or anything. It seemed like they were pretty much stripped down.
Yeah.
I dropped a hatchet to Thalen.
I wonder if we can. Did that woman, did she seem pretty willing to work with you all?
Yeah.
Maybe we tell her to have their weapons ready for after we convince that king that the goddess came back. That way they're easy to access when we leave.
If you were playing as her, you could easily command them to bring forth their belongings before they're let free.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe that is how I could get them close to me by saying that I need everyone to pray to bring me back to full power, command them to come close to me, as many of them as possible, and see what that does.
We could also, I mean, if we're worried about people not believing that you are Nung Nung, we could just say that you're a cleric of Nung Nungs and that you need everyone to do this for the ritual that will bring her here. So, like, you know, they all think that you were brought here for some reason to bring Nung Nung, right? So let's just play into that, saying you're a cleric of Nung Nung, say that they all have to do this ritual, which includes, you know, us being in a certain spot and you being in a certain spot and them being in a certain spot. And then that way, that's already what they want us to do anyways. So that way we don't have to say like, oh, this is Nung Nung and try and like deceive them in that sense, but more so deceive them in something that they've already really been deceived in. And that way they all are near you for this ritual. And then, you know, we say some code word and go ham on them.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm into that. That would be something that we could do. Get them to believe that that's what you're going to channel her somehow or something to that effect.
Yeah. Maybe we can.
We could use the paint to try to create some like art relics, some relics or artifacts that might help sell the idea a little bit.
Is there any like relics or artifacts or anything in the painting that we see of Nung Nung in the hut? You had said that there was like a painting of her or something.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that you see is it looks like a Grung, like you've seen him. Nung Nung is holding a spear in that painting.
Okay.
Maybe we can literally just take this paint, outline that spear, and it should be pretty much a perfect replica of whatever that is, right?
If it's life size.
True.
Fargo,
Yeah,
you're pretty good. Fargo, you're pretty good with your hands, right?
Yeah, I could try it.
You might be able to do something with these paints.
Yeah. Oh man, I've never done art in D&D before. It's gonna be interesting. I've never even tried to roleplay being good at art. I'm just so
I mean, I also know that Thalen is pretty good with a dagger if we wanted to like paint a dagger for him or something.
Yeah,
That's
I think
true.
he's got a weapon. I feel like first and foremost we should pass off getting this convincing. I think he can operate with a hatchet if he needs to.
When we saw Thalen, did he have his armor on, or was he like totally just in rags?
He was just wearing, his just basic clothes. It looks like he had been down there for a little bit. Yeah.
That's sad.
It's a little boy.
Yeah, I hate that.
Well, we're gonna end their
he's
lives.
making
So
the most of it. He's Thalen. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but now he has much trauma.
Yeah. Well, we'll kill some frogs and it'll be good.
It's okay. I hid my lockpicks in my butt.
No.
That you're right. Right about the trauma. He's shit. So have his lockpicks.
Okay. Well, if we're gonna build a tunnel to them, we've seen Thalen do disguises before. Maybe we have him paint a mask for me. Maybe some clothes, some
He is good at disguises. That would help.
robes.
I feel like anything we can do to sell it.
Like they said, Nong Nong has. Oh, shit! I didn't hear how they described Nong Nong.
Knock knock has.
Based on this picture of Nong Nong on the wall,
Yes.
it looks like she has long arms. Maybe he could make some kind of prosthetics.
I like it. I think that's good. I think we try to get him in on this. I mean, you guys think we got some time? I mean, we don't even have to do a hole. We got 8 hours. We could paint some shovels and dig a hole.
That's
That's
not
true.
really
Way to go,
resting for 8
8
hours,
hours.
unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's still
I
early in the
already-
day. If we don't, I don't need to rest.
Oh,
I could dig if you needed me to dig.
kind of invested in resting because I already reset my character sheet.
I don't. As long as I get just a little bit of rest, I can help.
I mean, one way or another, these paints are great and all, but we have to survive this for them to be useful in the future.
It's true.
So, I mean, we could paint all of you weapons. I mean, everybody gave up their weapons when we came in. We could paint.
I
We
didn't.
No, you're the only one. You dropped a dagger.
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
They took your dagger. We put ours away.
Mine, I didn't. Did I even put mine away?
No,
No,
I don't think I did either.
just me and Alistair, I guess.
I do need one of you to go talk to that lady because I do need to eat some of that stuff.
Yeah, that if she couldn't speak the language of them, that would
Mhm.
pretty much ruin our plan right away.
True.
Yeah, so if one of you could get some.
Yeah,
She-
yeah. I'll go grab it.
Thank you.
But we should probably get some questions together for her, right? Like what anything specific that we need to know about anything from her.
What if we tell her about our plan? So,
Mm,
like, part of it. So maybe
that we're
she
gonna dress
trusts
you up?
us.
Or
Yeah.
should-
Murder
or we
her?
just tell her that
Because that was
Well,
basically her plan, right? Was to dress one of us up or convince them that she had returned.
Yeah, to have us paint her, I guess. Like Nong Nong. By her, I mean Nong Nong.
I think if we just tell that we're gonna dress you up, tell Krook that we're gonna dress you up, and ask her what we need to make a convincing ritual. That might be the best thing.
what if
And
we
then-
just tell her that she's magic and that she can summon him or her?
I just
I
don't
think
think it's a
Groot already knows, yeah.
I don't
She
think it's
does.
necessary lie. You know.
I don't think Grook believes that Nong Nong can be brought back.
Also, we could just have her do all this, right? Like tell her well, we don't even need to like paint the things or whatever, just have her say like, hey, what is it that we can basically have the spear or whatever, just like paint one thing that's important and bring that out. And then for the rest of it, we could just say, hey, Krook, set it up like this. However, everyone else will believe it. She has already got that idea anyways. And then we just bring everyone together and then Indra does her thing and the rest of us follow up on it.
Yeah, maybe she can prepare everyone by telling them all like some holy priestess or messenger from Nong Nong is coming. And she's gonna guide them through some kind of ritual to bring Nong Nong back. And maybe we are the ones summoning this messenger, you know.
That
Cool.
works.
I'm good with that. You want me to go talk to her? Anything else we need?
I don't think so. Do we decide if we're going to try to get Thalen out first, or if we're just going to try to get them to release him during this ritual?
I think if we can, we let him out first.
I think we bring him in there so that we can keep an eye on him and protect him if we need to, leaving him in there because he's got 2 guards on him right now. Like I don't want us to go off on some people and then those 2 guards to just go in and kill them or anything.
What
Yeah.
if we tell Grook, like tell everyone that the messenger is gonna want to see the sacrifices and to keep them with the people who've summoned the messenger.
And also say they need every slave or sacrifice that they have
Mhm.
all in one spot.
Yeah,
That's
to
good.
pick the best
That's
one
good.
or something. I like that.
Do we know anything about the other slave or the other prisoner?
Nope.
Oh,
Not
that
to my
guy?
knowledge.
Yeah.
We didn't really have much time to talk to them.
The other thing, and again, I may be doing too much here, but we could paint a bunch of weapons, put it in like a bag, have all like the people come as like sacrifices, all the slaves and everything, and then like when they're all lined up, however many there are of them, then we just like give them all weapons and have them help fight with us.
That's making a big assumption that any of them are capable of that. Who knows how long they've been here, whether they're healthy. We might be best off trying to just get them to flee.
Maybe we have weapons to offer if they want them?
Yeah, maybe I'm just doing too much. I think we just maybe not. That's fine.
Yeah,
I figured they probably want a chance to fight for their freedom, you know.
I don't know who that guy is with Thalen, but maybe because Thalen and that guy were poisoned, and I don't know if the other slaves are poisoned, but if they are, um, maybe we just have that other guy lead them out so they're not a part of the fighting. I mean, if they want to stay, that's fine. I don't mind. I just don't want them to feel like they have to.
Yeah, I feel like to some extent we're just gonna have to play it by ear and see how people react.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to Krook. I'm gonna ask her for some speaking sauce. I'm also going to ask her that we're gonna need all the look and preparation of a summoning ceremony ritual, and that she's gonna have to get everyone as many grung as she can close to you, Indra, for the ritual, and then all of the sacrifices to the temple. Anything else? Okay.
No.
Oh,
I
I
go.
think that was. Oh, did you tell her that I'm gonna pretend to be?
I figure we'll bring her into the tent to ask her for that.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah. I go outside to peek. Go ahead.
I'm gonna start just while he's doing that. I'm gonna start working on the hole, and I'm just gonna try to create like, maybe 2 foot by 2 foot, and then just wait for it to clear, and then climb down in and work again, and then maybe get down at least 5 feet so we have some clearance where the ground's gonna be stable, and then start moving straight towards where the pit is.
Um, are we opposed to telling Krook about us using Thalen to help us with our disguise? Like, should we try to hide this hole from her, or should we just say we'll leave him in there? We just need his help to make this successful.
I mean, if we wanted Thalen, I'm pretty sure she could just go grab him for us. I don't think like the whole
I don't
is
think she
necessary.
can. I thought she couldn't.
Oh.
It
I
seemed like we
mean,
tried that before, and she didn't
Either
seem like
way,
she
she's
was.
probably going to come back in here at some point, so she'll definitely see that hole. But
And then we can wait until we've already done that, and then go from there. I could just fill the hole after we're done if we get him over here.
just paint a rug and throw it over the top.
okay.
Is that-
All right, I'm gonna go talk to Krook.
Okay. You step out of the hut, and nearby there's another hut.
I'll go over to that other hut.
Can you do me a favor, real quick, and just roll me a d6?
A D6.
Mhm.
5.
5? Okay. So you walk in there into this hut, and sure enough, there's Krook, who's the red grung that you've seen here. There's an additional 4 green grung hanging out in there, and an additional 3 children, small green grung. They're like
Oh.
a pale green color.
Aw, man.
And they're just all walking around kind of like...
Can I understand them still?
No. It's now that it's been some time, Crook sees you watching and goes, oh, and she goes, and she walks over and she grabs a bowl. It's the bowl that you've seen before, and she holds it out to you. And she looks at you and she goes, how about now? Can you hear me now?
Good.
Good. Okay.
Yes. A couple of things. First of all, do you mind stepping outside really quick?
Yes. And she looks back at everybody and says, just a second. These are our esteemed guests who will help with the ritual tonight. You see the rest of them go, oh, good. And they all walk out. And Crook walks out with you. And she goes, how's it going?
Good. I think we have an idea. We're going to need a couple of things. First of all, we're going to need some more of that sauce to have everyone be able to speak.
She hands you the bowl.
Cool. I take the bowl. We also are, for the ritual, we're going to need everyone in the camp in the temple. All, like literally everybody. We're going to need all of the grung, all of the slaves, everybody in the temple, and just any grung ritual items that may make it look like the correct ritual. We're going to have Indra, our Goliath friend, summon Nung Nung, and we can tell you a little bit more about that later on, but we'll need everybody in the temple. About how many grung and slaves and guests do you have?
She thinks about everything you've said. She says, well, the big one is good Nang Nang. Good bone structure, very tall. I think King Grok will like that. Yes, it's a good choice. As for all the grung, she thinks about it and she goes, almost all of the adults will be there anyway. We will have to leave some adults to watch over the children. And she thinks about it and she says, everybody will be inside except for Rourke's guards. They will stay outside. I have no authority over them.
Whose guards?
Rourke. He's the head. He's the king's bodyguard. He commands all the orange skins. I might have a hard time convincing some of them coming in.
Okay.
As for the slaves, I don't know if we can get them out and into the temple. Perhaps you will sacrifice them?
We're thinking of making a show of choosing the best of them, right? And so, our representative would need to see them all to be able to choose.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion.
Oh God.
I guess that'd be a deception. Well, I don't know. I guess you do want them to come in, right?
Yeah, but I'm not telling her the truth, so.
No, you're not. Yeah, go ahead. Whichever, your choice.
16?
She thinks about it and she says, I will grab as many as I can.
And sorry, I don't know if you had said this. Do you know how many will be there, or how many slaves, how many grung?
There will be maybe. And she starts counting on her grung fingers. And you see her go over her fingers a few times. Actually, that's a good question. Let me look at a picture. 5 fingers, like a human. She's counting. You see her go over her hands about 10 times. She goes, so about that many.
Both hands? Got it.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That's yeah. We'll need a little bit more time to iron some things out. Maybe come up with a little bit different of a plan, but I think we'll be okay. I think let's plan on having most of the people there. Obviously, you said they were already going to be like that, but okay.
Before you go, she says, and it's important that Nang Nang appears in the water.
Got it.
It's also important that Nang Nang does not stay.
Right, because we don't want them. We want. Right, we heard what you said, that we wanted to have the Nang Nang come and say, hey, I'm here, but I don't want to stay, and I'll watch over you all and bless King Grok and all of their priestesses and boost out.
Yes.
Good, we got it.
Okay.
I think we're good. As long as you get all those things for us and get the ritual and everything ready, we should be able to take care of the rest.
I will try to get as many people in to see Nang Nang, including as many of our slaves as we can.
Thank you. I turn and I go back to our crew, and we're going to need another session to plan all this shit out. So, team, gather up. Couple issues. Amount of people, an amount of grung that we saw before, not all of them. There are maybe over 50 grung total, and maybe as many slaves, and they don't know if they can get the slaves there or not. Can we take out 50 grung? I don't know.
I don't think we can yet.
Alistair turns and looks at Indra. Does this change your mind about anything at all?
Well, did I hear any grung children?
I mean, you haven't really been looking around, right?
No, and I
Yeah.
don't think I would think to look, but
Yeah.
I've meta heard. Well, 50 sounds like a lot.
And that won't be all of them either. There'll be the orange skins apparently are the guards, and they won't be in the temple. And there will be people watching over the young as well.
Oh, there's kids.
I saw 3 children while I was there.
Okay. What if we go back to the plan where I am Nung Nung? I kill the main guy and admonish everyone for what they've done with the slaves. And I
Maybe we say to King Grok, if he feels confident that he has led the Grung well, that he had to summon Nang Nang, he has to put his life on the line, and either Nang Nang is brought
judged.
to, Nang Nang judges him and she appears, or he dies, and he knows that, and then you just kill him with whatever spell, whatever you have, so that everyone knows that Nang Nang judged him and found him wanting.
like that.
But what if Nung Nung's hard to kill?
You mean King Grok?
Yeah.
He
Yes.
probably will be.
Well, then what if he's agreed to it? This is very dark. How does so in real life, people can get killed by one thing, like
Mm-hmm.
like a beheading.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work in D&D?
If we assassinated him.
So there's no like coup de grace mechanic in 5e that I'm aware.
Mm-hmm.
However, in the past, with things like that, there's a couple of things that we can do. Certainly giving advantage on the first strike, calling it a surprise round, and so that you can sort of double up before he goes. There's a couple of things that we can do. Going for straight up assassination. Mechanically speaking, that might be.
Kind of a
Okay.
rogue thing.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, if he agrees, if Nong Nong finds me wanting, then I will,
I mean,
I
if
will
you can
willingly
convince
go.
him to submit to his own execution, I mean, sure, yeah, that's going to be quite the check to get a king to go be like, yeah, you can kill me, it's fine, I suck.
I do suck.
But what if he really believes that he's been great, and there's absolutely no way she would judge me
Yeah.
bad?
That would be a sort of judgment of his character that you'd have to operate on.
Oh well, I've never even heard him talk technically.
That's not true. You've never understood him.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
This whole murder everybody is going to be tougher than we thought.
This is
Okay,
gonna be.
what if Nung Nung shows up and immediately flies into a rage and injures a lot of people?
Not be enough for them to turn on her. It might be something to instill fear and make them listen.
Yeah, and so if they don't die, then at least maybe they'll stop doing what they're doing, or Nung Nung could call for the king's execution, and we'll see if the other Grung would do that.
Maybe. It just seemed
The
like the
only
king is the most invested in her, while the rest of them follow him.
yeah,
Just the
the
impression
only
that I got.
thing is Grook will know it's all fake.
And may not be okay with us attacking.
But she knows that King Grok is going to kill her anyways, so I don't think she's really invested in keeping him alive necessarily. But again, her idea, keeping him alive, making Nong Nong appear and then leave. But we can always tell her that our game plan has changed. But
And kill everybody is still the default if everything goes tits up. So I don't think that's the main plan anymore. But if things go badly, if and when.
I would still like to, but I
there's
just
just so many.
yeah, and I don't now that I guess I don't think the kids have had really a chance to decide what kind of grung they're gonna be, and I don't want to kill them for things that their elders did, I guess. Well,
Wish Thalen were here. He seems like he's got really good ideas a lot of the time.
He'd know what to say.
well,
From down in the
unless there's-
hole, I'll be like, he'll be there shortly.
Did you tell us that Nong Nong needs to appear in the water?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I just relay everything. So I talk about 3 children, that there are Rorik's Guard, which are the commander of the Orange Skins. There's about 50 of them. Nong Nong needs to appear in water, and so on.
Cameron, when we're just kind of time killing, I'm gonna be really intentional about like getting the layout of the place memorized, so I know where everything is and like places to hide and stuff if shit goes south.
Sure. Go ahead and roll. I guess just a perception, because you're just kind of looking generally.
Not very good. 9.
9. Okay. There's a few things that stick out to you. On this whole sort of compound is almost divided into 6 plateaus, basically. There's a few huts. There's about a half a dozen huts. There's this large sort of pond in the middle. You see that the exit's at the south. You see there's plenty of trees that hide behind. As you're walking around, you can see there's like kids playing in the trees. You see them kind of crawling around. And you can see that in these islands, there are 2 orange grung at each corner as you're walking around.
At each corner of the central
That center island right outside of the temple itself, yeah. There's 2 orange grung on each corner, and they do sort of like a patrol thing. Actually, as you're walking around, have you eaten any of the excretion recently?
I never did. I got bit.
Oh, you got bit. That's right. Okay. Yeah, so as you're walking around, a blue grung comes up to you holding the hand of a child grung as you're sort of like on the opposite side of the lake. And she looks at you and she goes, Oh, hello. Are you the chosen one? The one who's going to bring back Nang Nang?
No, it's not me. It's one of our friends.
Oh.
I'm just her helper.
Oh. So you don't know Nang Nang?
No.
Oh,
Only she does.
I was hoping you could bless my child so she could grow up to be beautiful, maybe red. And she looks down, and her kid kind of like bobs her head around. Maybe red, Grung.
What do the colors mean?
Well, King Grog is gold, and he's gold because he's king. Kruk is red because she's so magical, and most of us are green or
What are green and blue?
blue. They sort of direct and manage. They take orders from Nang Nang, or excuse me, from King Grok or Kruk. The purples, they usually have a specific trade. Most of us are green.
Green are just like citizens of here.
Subjects, yes.
Love this. Okay. Yeah, well, if when Nong Nong appears, you can ask her, and maybe she will bless your daughter.
I hope so.
But
Just please point us out.
just don't bring your daughter though.
Well, why not? How will she receive the blessing of Nang Nang?
It's very bright, and it's too bright for kids.
Go ahead and roll deception at disadvantage.
Is Kyle Escobar's intelligence like a
Oh,
negative?
we're good. It's an 11.
11? Okay.
Yeah, I had a 22 for the
That's
record.
close enough for her to...
Aw.
Okay. She looks at you and she goes, It's so dark in there. It's such a strange thing. But I guess perhaps they've cleaned the fungus so well. It's very bright. Yes. Good judgment. Yes, you're very wise. Very wise.
Thank you. So yeah, you could just ask her to bless your daughter, and she'll know because she's all knowing. Yeah.
Thank you. And she kind of bows and walks back into her hut. The other thing you notice on your walk around is that there are prisoner pits on each of these nearby each kind of set of huts. So you know that there's at least 5 prisoner pits, each with 2 green guards.
Green guards. Got the land. All right, I'll head back.
While we're waiting for Vargo here, is there an idea maybe that we, like, instead of doing some like mass execution, we start just like taking them out one by one, like saying, hey, like, priestess, bring 2 people in at a time, and then just take them out that way?
I mean,
I don't know. I don't feel confident in any of our plans so far.
I know that you're kind of new to our group, Ko, but subtlety has not been our strongest suit thus far in our exploits.
I just feel like you've been so successful at everything you've done so far. Not that I've known, at least.
I want to kill the king.
Yeah, I just worry about how we're going to do that and get out of here alive.
I
Just remember, if we get out of this alive, we can always come back on better terms. But
That's true. You know, I still want to kill the king.
Understood.
I don't mean to make you all feel like you have to stay.
I got your back. Whatever happens, we're gonna mess some stuff up. These people have earned some judgment, whether it be from Nong Nong or from us.
I don't want the slaves to get hurt. I don't want to kill kids. But this can't go on.
They're all gonna die anyway if we don't do this.
That's true. They're probably poisoned. I would like to pull a tarot card.
Oh gosh.
I know, which means I would like to do nothing. I want to pull a card and kind of use it as my way to see what Ryu, just like her general impressions of what's going on, or maybe look for some kind of guidance as to like what she might want in this situation. Does she want me to stay and murder everyone? Does she want me to murder the king? Does she want me to just save the slaves?
Does she want me to build a robot dog for Thalen?
Yeah, like any of this. I'll do whatever she asks. That might be too specific for tarot cards, but true to my character, I don't really know what's going on. Okay, that might be good if I roll well. It's the 8 of the Court of Dreams, and it's insight.
Okay.
What's she holding in her hand there?
A blue orb. Ooh, can you see it?
Oh. Okay. I guess roll a religion check.
She looks like Gamora.
It's an 11.
What is that?
Toot.
It's, people outside, yeah.
Tooting.
Tootie toot.
Got it. So the feel that you get from Ryu is immediately she's with you. She is here and paying attention to this, and she's kind of like speaking to you through this card, and she gives you a couple of feelings, right? The first one is the fact that she immediately is passionately angry with the situation, but also wants you to channel your feelings and your passion and think a little bit about it. Think about how there might be a bigger threat. There needs to be justice brought to these people, but it doesn't necessarily need to be, murder everyone. And maybe you use a little bit of insight to figure out more information before you just go in and attack everything. Think about the blue orb maybe trying to get some information from Blue Grung, from your tarot card, and then also just like what is really the threat here from these Grung? Like, why is now the most important time that Nung Nung needs to be brought back? If there's any reason for that specifically.
Okay.
And have we seen any use for these prisoners? I mean, or are they strictly a commodity that is traded? Or have they used them to actually? Are they out and performing labors, or are they all just hidden away?
The only creatures that you have seen performing what you would define as like manual labor within Dung Grung Lung are the blue and green grung.
So no prisoners walking around for any reason.
Not here, no. We have not seen any prisoners walking out and about. You would imagine that they have some use. Maybe they're meals, maybe they're just sacrifices. But here in Dung Grung Lung, they're not doing work. And that comes through very clearly.
I need to go talk to some people. I need to go figure out what's going on, I guess.
You got
Take some of this.
Do it and I eat it and I am so sad.
It tastes surprisingly good. No.
Dang
No,
it! I was like, that makes it slightly better.
No, it's very acidic and weird and funky. I mean, I could roll damage, but we're in the rest period, so it wouldn't matter anyway. It burns your mouth a little bit, and you feel that you are able to communicate a little bit in Grung.
And you won't be able to taste anything for the next 3 days.
Yeah.
Alistair's going to use this as an opportunity, knowing time 0, to find out how long that lasts before they can't understand anymore.
Ooh, good point. Yeah. So you're going to be watching until Indra can't speak Grung anymore?
Yeah, essentially, yes. Just trying to determine how long that lasts.
I'll just taste it and then just like talk straight to Alistair until he like can't understand me. Just say when, and I just like talk in Grung for like 10 minutes straight until like he can't understand me.
You know, this digging would be a lot less annoying if you weren't doing that. Okay.
All right, I go look for a blue grunk.
Okay. Do you want to just take the time and peek your head in every hut? Or do you want to like actively look around for a blue grunk?
I was imagining that I would kind of do what Vargo did and just kind of like walk around outside until I saw someone.
Rolling perception.
15.
Great. Yeah, you start walking around the perimeter of this. Pretty quickly, actually, as you're walking by one of the huts, you see a blue grung in there shaping what looks like a mud brick.
I go in.
You go in. There are another 3 kind of pale green children sitting in there, and 5 different grung in there. One of them's blue, the rest are green. She's sitting out front of her hut, and she looks up and she says, one of our guests. Do you want to shape bricks?
I can help shape bricks, yeah.
She points over. There's just like a pile of really loose mud. She goes, help yourself. And then she slides you over a little mold.
Okay, I sit next to her and start shaping bricks.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about your life here.
My life here. Okay. Sure. We don't get to talk to big people like you often.
I bet that you don't. That's why what you have to say is so important. I need to get the full picture and not just what people who are maybe higher up want me to know. So please feel free to be completely honest. So I noticed that there's a lot of pits around town that have human or other slaves, I guess, in them, but I don't see them doing any work around here. Can you tell me why that is?
I don't want them to take my job, she says as she's like passing off one of the brick molds and putting it over a fire. She says they work outside, or their dinner, or their sacrifice for Nang Nang. But the strong ones work outside.
Okay. And I've seen that there's different colors of grung. Kyle, did you tell us what the different colors meant?
I didn't really have a scene where I came back from my walk, but we can just assume that I told you everything.
That sounds good. So I heard that the different colors of grung the color indicates your status in society, and I was wondering, is there a way to determine the color that the children will grow up to be?
Usually the children are the color of their parents, but sometimes a grung can really impress the king or do some feat that pleases Nang Nang. And if that's the case, through some magic and some sacrifice, they can be elevated.
I see. And what happens to you if you are unable to do your job?
She kind of thinks about it and she says, no such thing. What do you mean? I am Blue Grung. I make bricks, and I always make brick.
What if you get hurt and you can't make a brick?
Oh, why would I be hurt?
Is there some kind of workers' comp? The grung?
Is there HR
Or
I could talk
I guess
to?
those who cannot work would be useful in other ways.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what questions to ask. I'm trying so hard.
Is there any reason you could give me to not murder the clan?
Pretty much. I heard that there's something going on here, but I don't know how to get to that.
Yeah.
If you could just tell me everything. Can you tell me about the king a little bit? Just
King
about
Rook is
him?
the best. He's very powerful, important, to be respected.
Is he nice?
Why would he be nice? No, that would be weak. King Grok is strong.
And what do you think of Nong Nong? Is she nice?
Nang Nang is beautiful and terrible. She is the best of what the Grung have to offer.
What do the Grung have to offer?
Testing me on my Grung lore here.
Literally, what do they bring to the table? Ooh, I don't know how to answer this one.
Yeah, it's a real meta question here.
What value do they bring? Grung no
We are close knit. We are powerful in numbers. Each individual grung is not as big as you, but together we can accomplish much. We can take prisoners. We can hold off these undead. We can build this great structure. And she points to the temple. She says, we are good in numbers.
What do you know when we heard that the maze kind of became bad? It wasn't always dangerous the way it is now. Do you know what happened?
I don't know. I know that when the maze became more dangerous is the same time that the undead arrived.
Okay. Do you know when it happened?
It happened maybe before this clutch was born, and she points to the frogs, the grung, the baby grung. She says, and we have been building the temple then for Nang Nang's return.
So you were building the temple and then it happened?
We built the temple as a gift to Nang Nang because she will return, according to King Grok, to save us and to tame all of these violent and wild people outside of Dung Grung Lung.
The violent people, meaning the undead or someone else?
Yes, and all those who would hurt the Grung, who would not want to be our servants and slaves. They're bad.
Do you need slaves?
How 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 else would we have feasts, and how else would we bring back Nang Nang, and how else would we do outside work?
Well, I am one of the people who's working to bring Nong Nong back.
Oh,
So I've been,
oh,
yeah, I've been communicating with her and
you've spoken to Nang Nang.
mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
And she looks down and she puts her hands together and she says, "Please tell Nang Nang to not smite me, to make my children the most vibrant, colorful as possible, and to give me many, many slaves."
I'll talk to her. But I think
2 steps
maybe,
forward, 1 step back.
yeah,
It's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
I think maybe she's looking to change society a bit here to help you all survive and stay relevant.
I change society. Do you know how? Is she going to elevate us all?
Well, I'm not sure what she's planning yet. She hasn't deigned to share her plan with me.
Does she like her temple?
She does like the temple. She,
Can you tell her I built it? Some of
I'll,
it, at least?
yeah, I will
Look at the
tell her.
bricks. And she points at the bricks that are finished on the side.
I will tell her. I'll be sure she knows. But she wants the Grung to prove how powerful they are by accomplishing tasks on their own. She thinks that relying on slaves means the Grung have become weak and lazy.
Go ahead and roll a deception check.
You get Buck's stupid little frog check.
I'm just going to convert them one by one.
14.
14. She kind of looks down. She says, "You're not lazy. We aren't lazy. It's very hard to keep a slave. Are you sure?" She said, "Slaves make us bad."
She says that you need to rely on your own power.
Hmm.
She believes that you are powerful and strong and can do much, but she thinks that relying on the work of slaves is not proving just how much you can accomplish.
Maybe, maybe Long used his slaves too much. Yes, that's what it is. He always uses his slaves. Maybe he let his slaves paint the bricks. That must be what it is. I will go chastise him for this. Thank you.
Yes, and you know what? You can go ahead and start telling people about Nong Nong's thoughts on this.
Yes, I will tell them to keep their slaves away from Nang Nang's things. Surely
Well,
poisoning the temple with their hands was no good. This
no,
was why
Nong
she
Nong,
is so cross with us. Yes, yes,
she,
that's the problem.
that's part of the problem. Yes.
Too much, too much outside work. Not enough feasts. Yes.
No, no,
No.
no, 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 because if the slaves, don't eat them, don't do it because they're not worthy.
But they're so tasty.
They're dirty.
Tea?
They're dirty.
Well, we wash first.
You know,
But we bathe them in mud before
No.
we. No?
that only gets the outside. That's not the inside.
Are you sure you speak Grung well enough to understand Nang Nang?
Yes, yes. But you know, Nong Nong can speak many languages. She's a goddess. She's all knowing.
Ah, but she would not choose to speak anything but Grung, most beautiful language.
That's very true, but she has ways to make herself known.
So, I'm gonna go yell at Long Now for letting his slaves participate. And I'm going to tell him that he doesn't get to join the feast. Ah, ah, ah.
Tell him there will be no more slave feast.
Oh, that's perfect. More feast for us.
No, no,
Yes.
no more ever. No more. Remember, they're dirty.
Even the small ones?
Yeah, ingesting slaves makes you weak.
No. No. Makes us.
I'm sorry. That's what Nong Nong told me.
I will discuss this with Long.
Yeah, you know, I just think prepare for some changes when Nong Nong appears.
Yes, we'll be great. We will elevate above the undead, and we
Yes.
will. Can we enslave the undead?
I mean, maybe. Like I said, Nong Nong hasn't shared her specific plans with me, but I think that she really wants to prove just how powerful the Grung are by having them rely on their own strength, their own abilities.
Our abilities that aren't capturing people and making them do what we want.
No, because that doesn't prove how strong you are. You built this whole temple.
That's
You made
true.
these bricks.
We should make more bricks. Okay, more bricks
More bricks
with no slave help,
with no slave help,
except for outside.
potentially. We'll see what she
And
says.
we have to scrub them better with mud to eat
No.
them.
No. Just wait till Nong Nong comes back and kind of.
Oh, she'll tell us the best recipes. Yes, and then we will have the best feast for Nang Nang.
Yeah, she will let you know, but hold off until then.
I will. I will go yell at Long right now for
Thank
being
you.
weak. I will tell him that Nang Nang has judged him, and she will sacrifice him, and we will eat him first.
That
And
is
she walks out of the hut.
better. I have no idea what I just did, y'all. I don't know what's happening. I guess what I'm gonna do, I don't know how we would play this out, is I kind of want to float the idea to a couple different blue grung that like Nong Nong is coming and she's gonna make some changes because she kind of what I just said, like she thinks that they should change the way they've been living, they've become weak and lazy and she wants them to rely on themselves.
So over this time, you kind of walk around looking for blue grung. You find about a half a dozen, and you have similar conversations with each of them. You get a range of reactions. None of them are buying wholesale what you're saying. Like, hey, like slaves, not good. They're all like, well, like in what way? They're not good. They're not tasty enough. They work not hard enough. Or sure, they can't be doing inside work. But you do manage to speak to about a half a dozen of them to varying degrees of success, maybe.
Okay, that sounds good.
This is a very particular culture. Yeah.
And I'm so sorry that I'm taking up so much time, everyone. But I'd also like to find Krook and ask her what outside work is.
Okay. Yeah, so you go back to the main hut. Krook's in there, and she says, "Oh, the biggest one. You're going to be at the center of the show."
Yes, I will be.
Yes. And she kind of looks you over. She pulls on your arms. She goes, "Yes, long limbs, very good, very appealing."
I have a question for you. What is the outside work that your slaves do?
Oh, outside work. Well, I have to admit that I'm somewhat ignorant. I've been inside for a long time. But my understanding is that they are building things that will help us against the undead to make us safe.
So did you just start getting slaves when the undead appeared, or has this always kind of...
No, slaves have always been a great symbol of our success. King Rook has had scores and scores of slaves.
Well, good. Thank you so much. for that information. I appreciate it.
Oh, do you need to know what Nang Nang likes to better be her?
Yes,
She likes her big spear,
you're
and
gonna
she
make
likes
that.
to demonstrate her power over others who are dumber or weaker than she is. She must be very mighty.
So she's kind of fierce.
Oh yes, yes, very fierce.
So I should be kind of violent. Is that what you're saying?
Mm, mm, uh, are you asking? For me to pick a sacrifice? Do
Oh
you want to
no.
sacrifice somebody in front of King Grung?
I
Maybe that will appease him.
I'll pick the
He's
best
really getting
sacrifice.
down on Long. Long has been really kind of messing up. Really, if you want to execute Long, I could probably figure that out.
Well,
I wouldn't mind.
I know you're gonna have all of the slaves in there. Maybe I'll pick one of them. But yeah, maybe. What color is Long?
Oh, he's blue. Blue.
Blue.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I've heard his name mentioned. I mean, yeah, maybe I'll just make an example of Long.
I think that's good. I
Yeah.
put him in the center of the pond for when you walk in, and then he'll know which one to smite.
Perfect. I think that maybe a Grong sacrifice would be a good way to make everyone really fear her and take her.
Yes, yes. I'll go tell Long he has a place of honor. And she walks out.
Perfect. Thank you.
So psycho.
And I go back.
You go back. What is the rest of you doing as she's been around to spread
I was actually
anti-slavery
doing my
propaganda?
best part of my long rest.
Great, you're rested up. You got all your stuff.
I'm gonna peek in, not like make a huge hole, but just peek into the tunnel. I want it to be as subtle as possible. So I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Thalen, over here."
Thalen looks over and goes, "Oh," he looks up. "Oh, hey, Alistair.
Hey, so
How did you do this so quickly?"
don't worry about it right now. We'll explain it later. But we have a very well thought out plan of how to get you out of here.
Okay.
We're gonna put on a little show, and we're gonna get you guys out of here. We're gonna try to get the other slaves too. So just play along and keep that little gift that you were given earlier a secret. Keep it hidden until the time is right. You'll know when.
Okay. Okay.
Just play. Who's your friend here?
Oh, this? Now that you're closer to him, you can see something that wasn't immediately apparent before. It looks like he's recently had a real roughshod shave of his whole head, so that he has no hair, and there may or may not be some green pigment that's been splashed over him.
Thalen or the other person?
The other person, yeah. He goes, this is a new acquaintance of mine, and I'm blanking on his name right now. Actually, I'm really tired. What's his name?
Pick.
Pick. That's right. He goes, oh yeah. Pick is his name. He goes, oh yeah, that's right. Pick. Yeah, his name's Pick. I just met him recently, right before we got taken here.
Can he be trusted?
Pick looks over and nods his head. And he goes, yeah. No. He's showing me really cool stuff.
All right. Well, we're gonna try to get both of you out of there, but we just need you guys to play along, be cool, not let on that you've talked to me. But we're gonna basically when the signal happens, and you'll know it when you see it. We're gonna fight back, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to get out of here. The goal is to get you guys out. We're gonna use the grung to let you guys out of the hole, and then we're gonna try to get out of this compound.
Okay.
So,
hey, Alistair?
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried that I'm not going to get back more of these. And he holds up his little toy soldier thing. He's doing the kick motion. It's like, this one, the leg has gotten really stiff, and it doesn't go as good. I was hoping you could maybe find my other toys and my other stuff. Like, if we're going to fight, maybe, my arrows would be cool.
Do you have any clue where they might be?
Well, they put me in a net, and then they drug me here, stuff here. So, probably around here, if I had to guess.
We'll work on it.
Okay. And if you can't get it, that's cool. But maybe we could stop by somewhere where they have more of these.
We'll make sure. We'll work on it. I'll bet you I could fix that for you. If you protect it, I bet you I could fix it for you.
Okay. Yeah, probably. You're pretty good at fixing stuff.
All right. Just hang tight. You guys got enough food? We could bring you I've got some more food here if you need some more food.
I would love some food. I'm really hungry and
Okay.
very, very exhausted.
Okay. It's going to be a few hours, so you guys should try to get some rest if you can. And I mean, he's going to put through a couple rations for them so that they can through the hole. Because we've got a bunch of rations in my bag.
Oh, right, beef jerky, my favorite. He passes some over to Pick. Starts chewing on it.
Just get as much rest as you can get, and we'll. But we're coming. We've got a plan. And
Okay,
then his head back.
and I'll wait for the signal.
Just like Alistair's wisdom / intelligence is perfectly played there in the sense that Thalen's like, "Can you give me my toy? Oh, and all the stuff that I'm going to need to survive this, but really my toy." And Alistair's like, "Yeah, I will get you that toy."
Okay. Is Ko doing anything in particular in prep?
No, he's not doing anything.
Okay. Then let's say that anybody who kind of peeks outside and takes a look can see that little by little there's Grung moving towards the.
Okay, as it starts to get darker, I want to talk to everyone. Again, sorry. I'm so nervous.
Do we need Thalen to make your prosthetics?
Yeah, and we need to trace that spear. I need that spear.
Okay.
I'll try to.
I'm just gonna give Thalen a quick rundown on how the paint works and give him a shot as trying to create.
Vargo?
Oh, are you gonna try it, Vargo? You gonna try it?
I thought that was the plan.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
All right, I do that. I get the paint out. I try to imitate the spear as best I can.
So you paint a spear.
Yeah, like
Okay.
bigger, obviously, but yeah.
You're trying to create like a realistic looking spear, or you're just trying to like recreate the shape.
I guess as realistic as I can.
Okay. Give me an intelligence check.
3? What? Big 3.
Big 3. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like what you manage is a line with a triangle on it, and put away the brush, and you pick it up, and I mean it's a spear.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. You see this, everybody?
Do we see that it looks like the picture?
Well, to be fair, the picture's pretty simple too. So,
Okay.
for all intents and purposes, sure.
Perfect.
So, Vargo, do we want to have the guy who's used to making disguises work on the prosthetics, or do you feel like you could do some more frog-like?
I just think can we have him do it without raising suspicion?
I mean, he's in a hole. If he's quiet, I don't know if
And
it
you
would.
can you can just pass everything back and forth to him. And it'll be.
The painted pot is this big. I can dig the hole a little bigger if we need to get stuff through.
Yeah, but he needs to pass stuff back.
But I mean, we're making what, arms, and
And
a
a
mask
mask.
maybe. Yeah, mask.
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
Did
If he's-
Indra tell us all the stuff that
I want to.
And Indra, I think it's important that we get them to bring Thalen's belongings to the ceremony.
Okay.
If you convince them that they're going to let him free when this is all over, they need to bring his stuff, because he doesn't have any of his gear.
I learned some things when I went out to talk. For some reason, I think there's something bigger going on here than we know, but I can't figure out what it is. I just feel like Ryu is trying to tell me something, but talking to the grung is not helping me get there. But apparently, Nong Nong is very, very angry and fearsome. Should I just murder the king?
I think we may just have to go after these people.
I've been planting the seeds that Nong Nong is unhappy with their use of slaves and that they've become weak because of them, to hopefully influence them to give them up when I do act like her.
Did it seem to stick?
Not all the way. It seemed like a mixed bag. They weren't totally opposed, but I'm actually not sure if they really understood what I was saying.
Just getting the feeling that we're not going to be able to change these people, and might be better to get our people out or take them all out if we can. 50 is a lot.
I did hear one of them say that the slaves do outside work because you need to be strong to do outside work, which leads me to believe maybe they're not physically very tough.
I'm getting the impression, just based on the things that we're hearing, it might be safer for the people that we're trying to protect to get out as many as we can right now and come back to settle the score once Thalen's safe.
I feel like the Church of Ryu would be interested in making sure that these creatures don't carry on.
Exactly. And we could come back with more. But for now, I fear that trying to make our statement now and trying to free the people we care about are mutually exclusive options. As much as I want to end these creatures.
Maybe I can just, as Nong Nong, say, I'm very angry, and how could you rely on these lesser beings? And maybe try to use that as a way to get them to release the slaves, and then.
Can I make a suggestion? And this isn't going to be great, and you're probably not going to love it, but I think if we have a quick turnaround to get people out here to take these grung out, and not just the 4 of us, what would probably play better into the grung and how they seem to act, say that they chose poorly in their slaves, release them, and then get new slaves because these are bad ones. That might be the best way to get all the slaves out of here and then come back and take care of them. I know that's not great, but it's just like, I just don't think that you saying as Nong Nong that they should release slaves and not ever have them is really going to go well.
You're probably right. I mean, either way, I want to come back and finish this off. So if it's by saying you've done bad, do better, or you've done bad, don't ever do it again, it doesn't really matter. It's a means to an end.
And as far as convincing them, it seems like this long guy is kind of a scapegoat for the village, and you can take a little bit of your anger out on him, make an example, sell your bit as the vengeful goddess, and then we can come back for the rest of them later. And by killing this guy and showing your wrath, we might be able to get your wishes taken care of, because it seems like it's something that these people want, is for this guy to be in trouble. And if we can punish this individual and kind of make a statement, it might be enough to get us out the door with the slaves in tow.
I did hear someone saying like he used his slaves too much when building the temple, so maybe we'll take that track.
Something we can sell, something that they want to believe.
Yeah, I like that.
So are you going to pretend that you are Nong Nong then?
I think so, as long as you all are okay with that.
Yeah.
She needs to appear in the water. I was thinking of maybe like having some kind of breathing apparatus that we could maybe make and laying down in the pond outside of the temple, having you 3 go in and do a summoning ritual, and then I can create water, have it rain down from wherever I stand up out of the pond. It won't be inside the temple, but they did say she needed to come out of the water, so.
So then you walk into the temple?
Yeah.
And we get everyone in there?
Yeah, and the guards would maybe see me appear, the ones who won't be in there, so. But I just don't think I can hide in the puddle or the pond
And
inside the
it might
temple.
be gross and not good for you to do that.
Yeah, well, you're probably right.
It just seemed poisonous is all.
And then for my exit, I guess I could create water again.
And drop down like a starfish?
Yeah.
I don't think we'll have to worry about the exit. I think it'll be louder than that.
Well, if we do this right, they won't suspect much, and then we can come back and burn the whole maze down and the town with it. But it does require things to go right, so I guess we'll see. I could also try maybe Sacred Flame as a show of some kind of summoning or.
I like the control water idea. I was thinking maybe you just go up there and act like you're going to become an avatar of her, have the prosthetics with you, fall under the water, put them on, and then rise up. I can do a little bit of visuals that might help sell the point.
Okay.
And help give you a little bit more power and impressiveness.
Yeah, that could work because people know I'm here, so maybe that's a better way to explain.
And then when you can just cast off the prosthetics at the end and hide them in the pond or something to that effect.
Yeah.
When we leave, and it will explain why you're back and why you're leaving with us.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
So we have Thalen do the mask and the. I get the feeling this might be cheating. That he's exhausted.
We don't know that.
Or poison. Lots of things we don't know.
He's not poison.
Well, let me ask a clarifying question. Were you planning on having him paint individual pieces and pass it through the tunnel, or were you going to take him out of the pit through the tunnel and paint it in the hut?
He can come out through the tunnel. I made the tunnel 2 feet.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I was just trying to figure out what you were planning. Okay.
I think probably the easiest would be to give him space and let him through.
Yeah. Okay. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
No, I'm scared.
Okay. So I guess you're going to get Thalen through the tunnel.
While that happens, I'm gonna look for his stuff out by the pit. Is what I'm gonna do while we're getting him.
Cool. Roll me a investigation check around the pit. Who's going to get Thalen?
I'll go.
Okay.
Okay, Thalen. So
Yeah.
here's the deal. We're gonna do a little bit of an acting situation.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Yeah. So the plan is Indra's gonna lead the Grung through a little ritual, and she's gonna convince them to let us go. Okay.
Okay.
But we need your help. You're gonna have to stay in the pit, but we can let you out for a little bit to help us with this part, and then we're gonna put you back here so that nobody's the wiser. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good idea. Okay.
I look over at the other guy and I give him a glare and I say, you're gonna stay here. You're gonna be quiet and you're gonna wait for us to come back. In exchange, we're gonna get you out of here safe and alive. You understand?
He gives you a green thumbs up.
And is the green his skin or the green is just whatever's on him?
It's like splotchy. Something was put on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a grung disguise.
Maybe. Hard to tell. Yeah, so Thalen pops through the hole, climbs back up in the hut, kind of looks at all of you guys, and he goes, "Oh, this is a kind of nice, cozy hut. Hey, guys, how's it going?"
It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's really good to see you guys. Thanks so much for coming. Hey, so what am I making? Oh, did you find all my dyes and hairs?
Indra's working on it right now.
She didn't do that good.
But
Oh, sorry. Yeah, real quick. What did you roll?
A 4.
A 4. Okay. The only place that it occurs to you that it could be is in one of the huts nearby.
so Thalen, you see this painting here? We're going to try to, well, now that other guy's not listening, we're going to try to impersonate this goddess. And so we need some prosthetics, some extensions of her arms and a mask for her face to help her look a little bit more like what they're going to imagine this creature to be. And I know you're pretty good with disguises, so maybe you could help us with that.
Yeah, maybe we can give her like big old green eyeballs and
We have this paint set that when you paint things, they become real. And I kind of just try to give him a little demonstration, just like paint him a tiny, like a little version of his little action figure, just freehand as best I can, and show him that it becomes 3-dimensional.
Oh man, I can make so many puppies with this. This is gonna be great.
And we will, once we get out of here.
Does Nong Nong have a dog?
No, but you can
Okay.
have a dog once we're out of here.
So, am I supposed to paint this and then someone's gonna wear it?
Yeah, she's going to wear the
Okay.
gloves, and she's going to wear the mask.
I think I should paint it on Indra then, right? On her stuff so that she can wear it?
That might work. Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good thinking.
Where is Detective Mom?
And I figure we'll wait until she comes back, I suppose.
I'm trying to find his stuff.
Yeah. Do you look anywhere in particular?
No, I go to Grook. Yes, I go to her.
Mm-hmm.
Man, maybe that was a bad plan. It's too late now.
She's getting nervous. She's like standing there. She looks up. She goes, "Are you almost ready to transform?"
Yes, we're almost ready. But I do need some materials from our friend Thalen. His stuff has his bags. We need his stuff. Basically, he has materials that we need to make the disguise. Can I have his stuff, please?
Does he also have magic pigments? Go ahead and roll me just a deception check.
10.
She goes, and she kind of looks over in the corner of the hut she's in. She looks over again. She says, "I think it's too suspicious to grab his things." Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, the other thing you notice is that the only grung in this hut are children at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. She says, I don't know if I could take it out and also avoid suspicion.
Okay. I understand.
I'm going to leave soon to go to the temple. Do you need me to be anywhere in particular?
I don't think so. Just in the temple. And Long's gonna be in the middle, right?
Oh, yeah, he's so excited. He started licking his eyeballs all weird like he always does.
Perfect. Yeah, anywhere is fine. Thank you.
Okay. And then she licks her eyeballs twice and walks out of the hut.
She leaves the hut.
Yeah, she leaves the hut. This is just the children.
And I saw her look in the corner when I
Yeah.
mentioned Thalen stuff.
This is a way for me to get you my things back. Yes.
I take the things.
You find 2 little wooden boxes.
Okay, I take them, and if someone asks me what I'm doing, I will tell them.
Okay.
I need this for Nong Nong.
For the purposes of story progression, nobody questions your decision to take the things out of the hut.
Small children are intimidated by the large, scary lady.
Yeah, the children are like staring at you. Whoa. Pale
Mm.
green.
Inca
glow.
murders them all.
Oh my gosh, hey, Anakin Skywalker.
Yes, full on. Yeah, you get a lightsaber from Stone Sam. You walk back into the hut. Thalen's kind of practicing with the brushes, and he goes, "Oh, deputy, would you salute?
Hi, here's your stuff.
I understand I'm supposed to turn you into a big, beautiful god, Grung god."
Yeah, if you could make it so I can take them off and put them on rather quickly, that would be great.
Yeah, I can do my best. And he starts getting his paints ready. He says, "So what color should she be?"
I'm
Gold.
thinking
I
gold,
think
gold or
gold.
silver. Yeah.
Gold and
Gold.
silver.
Gold and silver. Okay, I think I can do that. Let me see how I roll. He starts painting, and he kind of starts with your leg guards, whatever you have on.
Guidance.
Oh yeah, go ahead and throw it on there.
Okay, 3.
Okay, so this is gonna be a 21 total.
Cool.
And he's just going. Yeah, basically what he's doing is you have your feet match up with the feet, and it goes up your legs. So that if you want to take off whatever like shin guards you might have on, or boots or something like that, you can do that. There's basically a big head and big long arms, and a
Perfect.
like torso thing. Yeah. And he goes, yeah, I think you look like a big scary god, right? And standing in this hut is a big gold and silver grung, about the size of a Goliath, plus a foot. Yeah.
So are you going to go in the water with all this? Or like, what's the plan here? You could dig a hole like Alistair did underneath that pool and just come out of that and then just like...
Well, we were thinking of just telling them that I'm like a vessel.
I really like that idea, but I'm more concerned about drowning in the lake water.
I mean, I'm not an architect. You guys can pull whatever shenanigans.
I just don't want to come from the bottom of a lake and then open a hole underground.
But she can control water, right?
No, I can only create and destroy water.
Oh, destroy.
A lake.
It wasn't that big, right?
It does take a bit of effort for me to do this, and I just want to be ready in case things break bad.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry. It is a good idea.
At this time, you can all hear drumming in the distance.
It's time.
Can we quickly paint a big robe?
Oh yeah, it would be really weird if she went in super naked. And he just starts painting a big robe. Yeah.
So I have the arms tucked against my body. So they're not on, but they're against me. And I keep the foot part on under my big robe so people can't see it. The head
At your stomach, like
in a
just
hood.
like a big
In a hood.
tummy.
in a hood. Yeah. So I'm ready to do this very quickly.
Great. Yeah.
Oh, and the
you-
spear. And the spear is
Yeah, the long line with a point, a triangle at the end. Yeah, is available for use.
I just imagine like scribble
That's
knots where you
respectful.
just like draw this triangle and
Yeah,
an arrow.
It's Doodle Bob's weapon.
Doodle
Jake.
Bob. My hi, mean hi. I'll attach it down. I'll stick it down my back.
Sure. All of these things are possible with these magic pigments. The drums are going, and this indicates that the ceremony is about to begin. Do you all want to pick this up next time, or do you want to go now?
Pick it up next time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
This
gonna
isn't
be a-
quick.
I'll plan some stuff so in case it finishes up.
If you guys aren't planning to commit a frogicide, this would be a pretty quick next session. If a frogicide occurs, it might not be. So yeah, I would be prepared for next
Well, we're
session.
not planning on a
We're not
frogicide,
planning it,
but
but
who
it
knows?
might
happen.
Yeah, we're,
Yeah. All right, well then we'll call the session there. We'll pick it up with the shrine to summon, or the ceremony to summon Nong Nong on the next session. Good work, everybody.
I'm scared. Oh my gosh.